Welcome back. Is there a war on Christmas? JD talked about that with Dr. Richard Land before he left for the holidays. And here's that interview.
A toast, my love, my dearies, to our Merry Christmas. God bless us.
God bless us. God bless us, everyone.
A classic scene from that great work by Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol. This time of year has always been about love, kindness, and giving, but the attitude appears to be changing following several incidents. For example, at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, a memo was sent to employees on how to ensure their holiday party is not a Christmas party in disguise. And incidents like that are raising questions about whether or not we here in the United States have forgotten the true meaning of Christmas. To talk more about that, let's welcome in via Skype from Charlotte, Dr. Richard Land, president of the Southern Evangelical Seminary. As always, Richard, we appreciate your time here on Newsmax Prime.
Well, thank you, and you have a joyous Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Amen. A blessed and a Merry Christmas to you too, Richard. And yet, when my own wife, Miss Mary, talks about going into some establishments, she really is irked by feeling that people working in those establishments are being told to refrain from saying Merry Christmas. Is this a concern about offending people, and is there a place for that in our society?
Well, I think what this is about is the PC police who are very intolerant, trying to erase evidence of Christmas from our social milieu, and to make America the secular society they think it is, but it's not. We're still a very religious people, but it shows the intolerance of the hard left, who wants to enforce their view on everyone. And the way to combat this is to push back. Here in Charlotte, we had the major mall, sort of the flagship mall of the entire city, was not going to have a Christmas tree this year. And the people responded so vigorously that we now have a Christmas tree in the mall. And I think when this happens, we just need to push back and say, look, I'm offended that you're not observing Christmas. This is the Christmas season. And we want to, if we're going to come into your establishment and we're going to buy coffee or we're going to buy whatever, we don't want it to be as if it's the middle of January and there hasn't been a Christmas season. If you want me to be one of your customers, you need to take my feelings into consideration, not just the PC police.
So you mentioned what happened right there in Charlotte. I talked about University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Also reports out of Ole Miss of all places in Oxford, Mississippi, taking exception there at the University of Mississippi to calling the holidays Christmas holidays. Does it surprise you a drive for secularization in what heretofore has been known as the Bible Belt?
No, because what you have on those campuses, when you have state university campuses particularly, is outposts of the PC police. These are outposts of those who would seek to force a purely secular agenda on the United States. And they don't want free speech. They do not want tolerance. They do not want pluralism. They want an enforced lockstep secularism.
Richard, there are some leftists who aren't exactly in favor of capitalism. They say that we should blame capitalism for the so-called war on Christmas. Is it avarice? Is it playing it safe in pursuit of the dollar that has led to the prevalence of the PC police and their success?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think, I'm concerned about too much commercialization of Christmas, and that's been a problem for a while. But I don't think that's the major thing. What it is you've got businessmen, you've got people who are running these establishments who are invertebrates, basically. They have no backbone. And whoever pushes gets a response. It's the squeaky wheel that gets greased. And the secularists have been far better at whining and complaining and making their concerns known. And Christians have been turning the other cheek. Well, I think it's time that we stop turning the other cheek when it comes to denigration of our faith and mockery of our faith and attempts to ostracize and segregate our faith and say, all right, enough's enough. This is a country founded on Christian principles. A vast majority of Americans claim to be some form of Christian, and we don't want to pretend anymore in our society that we're not a very religious people. Because
after all, tolerance means truly to tolerate. And that's true for persons of faith as well as those who may not be believers. Richard Land, I know those looking in join me in wishing you and yours a very, very Merry Christmas. We thank you so much for the time.
Do you agree that there is a war on Christmas going on right now? Let me know what you think at newsmaxtv.com/comments. Newsmax Prime continues right after this break.